Howdy guys, it's Millipedal, and today I'm going to be talking about the plant experiments within Clark Industries, who they are, how they came to be, and some facts about their biology and their behavior, as well as their relationships to some other members of our cast. You heard me right, we're doing a mini lore video today. Before we start, Underworldly is a world building project that I've been working on with my partner Pepper since 2015. If any of this interests you, I have more about the series on my Instagram, Twitter, and the wiki, all linked in the description. On to the video. There are three plants in the Clark Industries underground lab: Abigail, Alex, and Miriam. Abigail was the first, and was the initial experiment gone wrong. Thomas, owner of Clark Industries, was overseeing a personal project labeled the Super Cactus, a cross between a saguaro cactus and a Venus flytrap, with some additional genetic enhancements and traits from other plants. The idea being that the cacti could be planted in struggling areas as a major source of water and fruit. Said fruit would have increased flavor from the Venus flytraps in the form of the sweet nectar that they used to lure in flies. His assistant at the time, Jay, was documenting the experiment, when during the germination process, some of her DNA was unwittingly introduced into the culture. As the seed grew, some major abnormalities were noted. It became apparent after a few weeks that a humanoid form was growing. The specimen was about 1 foot in height, not including its pot. It had thick, vine-like arms extending into clawed hands, leaf-like hair and large ears, and what could only be described as a tail with a large pink flower at the end. When approached by lab staff, the specimen would hiss and wrap itself in its tail, flexing it and causing the cactus thorns to sprout as a method of defense. At this point, the Super Cactus project was shelved in favor of this new experiment. Through testing, it was found that the experiment was omnivorous, though it preferred to rip and tear hunks of meat with its razor-sharp teeth, and showed enjoyment when given thorough mistings. One day, during a routine cleaning of its enclosure, the experiment uprooted itself and escaped, attacking and biting a few of the scientists present, including Jay. It was apparent within minutes that the experiment had a very corrosive venom. Death cures were administered, and a preventative antivenom was concocted and given to any staff who would be coming in contact with the experiment. It was at this point that Jay took a particular interest in the project, and Thomas gave her control of it. Jay would spend her time in the labs training and studying the experiment. As it showed more signs of intelligence, she named it Abigail. Abigail was growing exponentially, and was predicted to meet her full size within 5 years due to the genetic enhancements within her DNA. So it was decided that a large-scale excavation would take place, and a massive 7-acre enclosure was constructed, fully landscaped as a forest with a small pond and simulated day cycles. Abigail's intelligence grew nearly as fast as her size, and she was quickly taught to not randomly escape and attack the lab staff. And shortly after that, she was on par with any other regular person in terms of intelligence. The enclosure was completed within 2 years, and she was acclimated to her new digs. Now a whopping 12 feet tall, she definitely welcomed this new change in scenery. This also allowed for some more thorough experiments on her behavior to take place. She was observed to be an ambush predator, disguising herself as a tree and waiting until the deer that she had been supplied with passed by her, at which point she would strike, biting her prey and waiting while the venom worked. When the prey had finally collapsed, she would consume it in its entirety. This initially worried the plant team, but it was observed and later confirmed through sampling and x-rays of her abdomen that the venom and enzymes in her system were so strong that they could dissolve bone. She was also allowed out into the labs to interact with people as part of her enrichment, where she eventually found her partner Astral, a blue demon, who was allowed to stay with her so the plant team could continue monitoring her behaviors in this new context. After some time had passed, the lab staff wanted to attempt a reconstitution of the super cactus from Abigail's DNA. They harvested some of it, using it to create male flowers. From there, they pollinated her, hoping to make fruit to gather more seeds. She did produce fruit, and also got pregnant. This caused a huge shake in the labs. Considering Abby herself hadn't been born, they did not anticipate this outcome at all. After some convincing from lab staff and from Astral, she agreed to go through with her pregnancy and gave birth to specimen 2, Alex. Alex followed similar growth patterns to Abigail, reaching maturity within 5 years, topping Abby in height at a massive 12 foot 6. Alex was much more docile than her, and did not need any sort of milk or formula. He was able to start on solid food immediately, preferring meat overall, just like Abigail. In terms of physical appearance, his ears are much larger and his tail is over 7 inches longer, ending in a much bigger flower than Abby's as well. Within this 5-year period, Astro requested lab staff to assist the couple in creating a second child. Lab staff agreed, thinking that a sibling dynamic would provide valuable data. Jay took a personal interest in this project as well, and began an interesting experiment. Using some of the harvested male flowers, she created a cell culture and coaxed them into reproductive cells. From here, she was able to produce sperm cells and artificially inseminate Astral. Astoundingly, this bizarre amalgam of crossbreeding succeeded, and Astral laid her egg as expected. which hatched just before Alex's second birthday. This was specimen 3, Miriam. Miriam grew slower than the two pure plant specimens, reaching maturity within 8 years, and ending up at a still fairly large 10'5". She also had similar levels of aggression that Abigail did, leading lab staff to believe that female plant specimens are just more aggressive overall. It also appeared that despite her blue DNA, she did not get any demonic traits, save for her eyes and a demon's rudder in place of her tail flower. Miriam's aggression did not wane as Abby's did, and she ended up being quite an issue in the labs. Despite her size, she ate more than the other two plants, and would regularly escape her containment and wreak havoc on the labs. It was suggested by Fira, another demon employed by Thomas, that she could be experiencing a form of mate withdrawal, wherein a demon will become agitated and aggressive if they're not provided with an outlet for their frustrations. This led to Harper, Thomas's new assistant, who was already somewhat interested in Miriam, to be introduced to her. She accepted him, and while her aggressive outbreaks are not fully gone, Harper certainly helps. Most people think she only breaks out for fun now. Hey, editing Millipedal here. Forgot to put it in the script, and there's not really a good place for me to insert it, so it's getting put right here. The plants, all three of them experience seasonal changes, Miriam less so. Um, so being plants, in the fall, they'll experience some color changes. They'll get a little bit paler, more kind of yellow over green. And they obviously their leaves will change colors. And then in the winter, those boys go dead bald as hell, no hair. They look cursed. I'll probably put a drawing up on screen of that and the fall one as well. And then in the spring they grow back and they have like budding flowers and whatnot, and then they go back to the regular appearance that I'm currently drawing on the screen right now. So yeah, thanks Pepper for reminding me and not saying anything until after I had already recorded the audio. Currently, Abigail is the head of the labs, taking over since Jay retired full control to her, and is still with her partner Astral. Alex is the main guinea pig for any data collection that the lab still needs, and is with his partner Jura. And Miriam has recently, albeit regrettably, been given a position in lab security, on the condition that Harper can keep her from maiming any more staff. Okay, that was all I had for today. If you guys want any more information on the series, there are plenty of posts on my socials. As I said at the start, all my links are below. I have more videos about Underworldly on my channel here, as well as some animations in my shorts. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for more videos, feel free to comment below, and please like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching!